Alright, so what's going on, guys? It's officially out, the first chapter of JOJOLands, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 9. Now, the way that I'm going to do this video series is that I'm going to give a synopsis of the chapter itself, and then afterwards, I'll give you my thoughts and analysis. Now, the reason that I'm doing it this way is that when the manga is actually complete, I'll compile all the chapter synopses into one video and make a timeline for you guys. But without further ado, let's start with Chapter 1. The new adventure stage is... This may sound like bullshit, but this is the story of one boy becoming rich in the subtropical islands. This boy, JoJo Joestar. The island's floating in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, Hawaii. And this is Chapter 1 of JoJoLands, Mechanism. To start things off, we see a couple of police officers driving in their patrol vehicle as they pull someone over. One of the officers approaches the vehicle and tells the passengers to turn off the radio. The female says that the officer is too close, and that she wasn't going too fast. The officer wants to see her driver's license, as he claims that she was driving unsteadily. The woman then pulls out her driver's license in a mysterious fashion. The officer tells her to wait, as she feels confident that she wasn't driving unsteadily. The girl's little brother is in the passenger seat, as the officer determines that the car doesn't belong to her. It's her parents' car, and she's worried that she might catch COVID from the police officer. The officer takes this as a racist remark, and demands that she step out of the car. The officer proceeds to abuse his power by groping the woman at his own discretion. He claims he's got a duty to justice, and he must perform a precise investigation of any unlawful activity. He sticks his hands into her underwear to pull out her driver's license. The boy steps out of the car and says, "Hey, what the hell are you doing? Get your hands off of Big Bro right now. You got me?" The officer is flabbergasted by what he just said, as the other one points his gun at the boy. The older brother, whom I've been calling a girl to this point, begs for his little brother, JoJo, to get back into the car. The officer threatens JoJo, but rain droplets touch his body and knock him onto the ground. In fact, they're utterly crushing him. We then get our first look at JoJo's stand, a cybernetic creature with 4 mechanical legs. The other officer tells him to stand down. The older brother touches the officer's face, making the eyes move upon command. Water droplets crush the officer into the ground, as JoJo calls him an asshole for what he did. The older brother, however, is less than pleased that JoJo did this to the cops. JoJo wants to burn any evidence of their involvement. The older brother agrees, as he uses his stand power to change the license plate number. And the stand itself looks like little mechanical robots with tank treads as legs. He then gets rid of the fake license as well. The two take off as they head over to a junkyard. They drop off what looks to be drugs, as they're given money for their service. The two's mother is Barbara Ann, and she gets up at 7:15 every morning and starts her day by running the washing machine. Turns out that she's a well-respected and well-loved individual, so people from the neighborhood help her commute to work at the airport. Big brother's name is JoJo Joestar, 18 years old. He enjoys girl-like fashion and works at a fashion boutique. Now, the slight swelling in his chest is from cosmetic injections. Their parents came here to Honolulu, Hawaii from Atlantic City on the mainland. But a bunch of stuff went on, so they're raised by their mother alone. As we discover that Barbara Ann Joestar is a daughter of Joseph Joestar and Susie Q. JoJo Joestar is 15 years old. JoJo hands some cash over to a boy on the bus. A mysterious man tells the boy to look deep inside the rain gutter. He proceeds to do so and finds some drugs inside. JoJo is here for what he calls the mechanism, but he, however, is just a transporter, which has earned him some nice pocket money. He juxtaposes himself with some kid who gets beaten up on a regular basis. JoJo states that this story is about him getting rich, but there's something far more important than that. Mechanisms. It's a general principle that brings you wealth. This is a story of one boy becoming filthy rich in the subtropical islands. Still not enough modesty for you? Well, sorry, I'm becoming rich no matter what it takes. This is Paco Lovelantis. He's 19 years old and he's still in high school. He lost a chunk of his ear due to his dad biting it off. What, is his dad Mike Tyson or something? Apologies if you find this offensive, Mike Tyson. Paco has a stand ability that allows him to steal. He can grab onto things with the backs of his hands and elbows, all without moving his fingers. Dragona grabs onto Paco's ear and wonders what he's doing in the shop. A large lady then states that they are closing down for the rest of the day. Dragona locks the store as they meet with Meryl May, the large large woman. She turns out to be their school principal and the proprietress of the boutique, making her their boss. Aiko Aiko, the boutique, is just a means for hiding their criminal business. Meryl May shows them a photo of a natural diamond that's worth over $6 million. A Japanese tourist has the diamond in their possession, and they plan on staying in Hawaii for 15 days. If they do the job, they'll get 40 grand each for their efforts. They all agree, as Meryl says that they'll be going as a team of 4. The 4th member arrives, as it turns out to be the guy that JoJo sold the goods to earlier. This is the beginning. The boss did call one thing correctly. Just the 3 of us would seriously not have been enough. Actually, it wouldn't have been enough no matter how many people we had. We then find out that JoJo's stand is November Rain, Dragona's stand is Smooth Operators, and Paco's stand is The Hustle. So, as for my thoughts and analysis, I love this chapter, guys. JoJo's braggadocio, assertive personality is really interesting. I really like it from a JoJo character. It kind of reminds me of Johnny's personality from part 7, before he lost the ability to walk on his legs. He was very braggadocio, he was very in your face, didn't really care about the common man, but then he became humble over time. So I'm wondering if that's what's going to happen to JoJo, or if he'll still maintain this alpha personality throughout the manga, which I think fits him pretty well. I actually like this from a JoJo character. I'm also very curious about his stand ability. November Rain. Now it seems like the rain droplets can get heavier upon command. Now I would almost think that at some point he could even put the rain droplets into your body and influence your organs, put pressure on your organs. It seems like a very powerful ability. And I almost wonder if he'll have the ability to affect the water within people's bodies, to affect their blood. Because as we know, 70% of a human's body is made up of water. Or it might be 60%, I'd have to look it up again. That being said, a significant portion, more than half of your body is made up of water, and he can seem to control water. So if he could do that, he could almost control anyone's body, which seems very powerful and very broken. So we'll have to see how that manifests itself in the future. Now, we gotta talk about Dragona. I mean, I love the fact that she's, intersex, I guess we could call it. Male, but dressing as a female. Transgender, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, very interesting idea there. I mean, JoJo's always been about gender bending and males wearing female clothing and females wearing male clothing. So this is really nothing new. I just thought it was funny because as I was reading it, I thought it was a female. And then the fact that it was a male and the male officer was sticking his hands into his underwear was just kind of a funny trap there. So, yeah, that was a humorous moment. Paco's an interesting character as well. He's got the ability where he can steal things with the muscles on his arms. I would imagine he could probably do this with his legs as well, or probably any muscle on his body, maybe his tongue, maybe his toes. I mean, the possibilities are limitless with that ability. And then the big thing I'm wondering from this chapter is the diamond from the Japanese tourist that's staying in Hawaii for 15 days. Because as we saw from the chart of the family lineage, this should be happening in the same timeline as JOJOLian. So is this going to be someone from the Higashida family? Could it be Hato, Joshu, Daya, Tsurugi, Josuke? Or even Yasuho. Who knows? Could be someone we're not even familiar with. But I would think at some point, Araki is going to want to make that connection. So my preliminary guess, although we don't have much information to go off of, besides the fact that they're Japanese, is that it's going to be someone from the Higashida family, especially considering that they're very wealthy, so it would make sense that they would have this diamond. But yeah, it was an exhilarating chapter, guys. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. Someone noted on Reddit that the chapter number was 001. So the fact that it's 3 digits would indicate that JOJOLands is going to be over 100 chapters. And if they're all 50 to 60 or even 70 pages long, we're in for one long, exciting ride, guys. So tell me what you guys thought of this chapter. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.